de António Coimbra, da Malta Stadium, to watch this Under-21 match between the national teams of Portugal and Scotland. We thank you for coming to watch this match. We wish both teams the best of luck. We do hope that you enjoy the game and that the teams produce a great performance played in accordance with the rules of respect and fair play. Please remember that in football there is no place for racism. Senhoras e senhores, está agora na altura de ficarmos a conhecer a constituição das equipas. Começamos pela constituição da Seleção Nacional da Escócia. And now the lineup for the teams, and we start with Scotland national team. Goal número 1, Wayne Adams. Goal número 2, Dylan Coleman. Goal número 5, Luke Brown. Goal número 6, Kyle Hughes. Goal número 10, Ryan One. Goal número 14, 14, capitão de equipa do captain David Watson. Goal número 15, 15, Taylor Stevens. Goal número 17, 17, Ryan Carr. Goal número 19, 19, Mitchell Frank. Goal número 20, 20, Jeremiah Nolan. E goal número 22, 22, Connor Allen. No banco de suplentes, substitutes. Goal número 12, 12, Liam McFarlane. Goal número 21, 21, Woody Williamson. Goal número 8, 8, Barnaby Stewart. Goal número 9, 9, James Wilson. Goal número 11, 11, Emilio Lawrence. Goal número 16, 16, Tyler Fletcher. E goal número 18, 18, Samuel Leon Harvey. Selecionador da Escócia, coach for Scotland, Scott Sheffield. Altura agora também para ficarmos a conhecer a constituição da equipa de arbitragem deste jogo e official for today's match. Árbitro, referee Igor Sajkowski, assistido por assistant referees Gotcha Petreski e Darko Josefski. Quarto árbitro do board official Benjamin Kerrigan. E agora, Estoril, é o momento. Vamos ficar a conhecer a nossa Constituição. A Constituição da Seleção Nacional de Portugal! Gol número 1, nosso guarda-redes, João Carvalho! Gol número 2, Daniel Banchaki! Gol número 4, Tiago Gabriel! Gol número 6, o nosso capitão de equipa, Gabriel Braz! Gol número 7, Carlos Ford! Gol número 8, João Simões! Gol número 9, Youssef Chermiti! Gol número 10, Gonçalo Moreira! Gol número 14, Matias Amorim! Gol número 19, Tiago Paredes! E gol número 21, Roger Fernandes! E no nosso banco de suplentes, gol número 12, Gonçalo Ribeiro! Gol número 3, João Muniz! Gol número 5, Leonardo Barroso! Gol número 11, Noah Saviolo! Gol número 15, Rodrigo Rego! Gol número 16, Diego Rodrigues! Gol número 17, Mateus Mané! Gol número 18, Rodrigo Ribeiro! E gol o número 23, Diogo Sousa! O nosso selecionador é Luís Freire! E agora que já conhecemos a nossa equipa, os jogadores que vão vestir a nossa camisola e que nos vão certamente guiar à vitória, digo-vos que estamos cada vez mais perto do arranque do jogo e é por isso mesmo que é a altura também de começar a ver o que trouxeram aqui para apoiar a nossa equipa, de um lado e de outro. Onde é que estão esses cascóis e essas bandeiras? Lá em cima, em todo o estádio, olha lá, bandeiras e cascóis a rodar lá em cima. O vento que ajuda, não há razão nenhuma para que não tem que fazer grandes gestos, é só levantar que o vento faz o resto. Bora lá, cascóis e bandeiras lá em cima, a rodar agora. É isso mesmo que queremos. E quando esta música tocar no início do jogo, vamos todos cantar. Vocês sabem, vamos lá! São vocês! Ok, vamos combinar aqui uma coisa. Quem não quer cantar, faz pelo menos uma coisa, ok? Bate palmas, ok? Pode ser? Então vamos lá ensaiar. Agora a música vai correr outra vez. Chega ao refrão, quem puder canta, quem não puder bate palmas. Bora lá, todo o estádio. Ok? Estão prontos ou não? Então bora lá ensaiar. Para isto correr bem daqui a pouco. Tudo! Mais forte! Ok, era isto mesmo, estamos ensaiados. Quando começar o jogo,
okay. Yeah, good to. Good evening and welcome along to our live coverage of Portugal Under-21s versus Scotland Under-21s from the Estadio Antonio Colomboa de Mota in Estoril, just out of Cascais on the west coast of Portugal. And after a goalless draw against Czechia on Friday, Scotland in need of a bit of an upset against the group leaders tonight. So let's remind ourselves of the state of play. Scott Gemmell's side are third in Group B, 3 points behind Czechia, who are in second and beat Gibraltar 5-0 earlier today. Scotland also level on points with fourth place Bulgaria, who are held to a goalless draw by Azerbaijan. Tonight's opponents, Portugal, 5 points clear of Scotland at the top of Group B and 2 points clear of Czechia, who occupy that second position. They also have a game in hand over their opponents tonight, and of course are massive favourites to go through as group winners. Remember, the 9 group winners as well as the best second place team will qualify automatically for the finals in Albania and Serbia next year. The other 8 second place teams will advance to the playoffs. So pretty much a must win this for Scotland. We'll bring you the lineups just after the national anthems, and first the national anthem of Scotland. And now for the national anthem of Portugal. Scott Gamel makes 4 changes from that goalless draw with Czechia on Friday night, and also switches formation to a back 3. Rudy Adams remains in goal. The back 3 is of Luke Graham, Jeremiah Chalokwa Mullen and Connor Allen. He sticks with the same 2 fullbacks from Friday's game, with the Aberdeen duo Dylan Lobin and Mitchell Frame on either flank. Midfield 3 consists of Kyle Ewer, Ryan Carr and captain David Watson, with Taylor Stephen and Ryan Oney leading the line. On the bench, Woody Williamson, Liam McFarlane, Barney Stewart, James Wilson, Emilio Lawrence, Tyler Fletcher and Sam Cleo-Harding. So 4 changes in total for Scott Gemmell. Andrew Thomas is out through suspension. Stephen, Oney, Carr and Allen come in, and the front 3 of Mabudi, Stewart and Lawrence all drop to the bench. Portugal just switched 1 player from their 4-0 victory over Azerbaijan on Friday, as Roger Fernandez comes in for Noah Saviolo. Their team reads Jalco Valio in goal, a back 4 of Tiago Parenti, Gabriel Bras, Tiago Gabriel and Daniel Banjaki. Their midfield sitting 2 of João Samoas and Matthias Diamarim are supported by a forward line of Roger Fernandez off the left, Gonçalo Maria in the 10, Carlos Forbes off the right hand side, and Rangers striker Yusuf Shamiti leads the line for tonight's hosts. There's David Watson doing the toss with Portuguese skipper Tiago Gabriel. And we're Scotland 3rd in Group B as it stands. The Portuguese leading the way on 16 points, Czechia in 2nd on 14, Scotland in 3rd on 11, Bulgaria also on 11 points in 4th position, with Azerbaijan in 5th on 6 points, and Gibraltar, bottom of the group, still yet to pick up a point. There's Ryan Oney and Ryan Carr. Tonight's match officials are from North Macedonia. Igor Stovcheski is the man in the middle, as Yusuf Chamiti gets us underway. I'm delighted to say on commentary tonight I'm joined by former Scotland Under-21 international and of course former full international Dylan McGeoch. Dylan, what are you hoping to see from Scotland this evening?
Yeah, obviously hoping to get a positive result from the start, but yeah, we know it's going to be a tough ask. Portugal are a good side, going to need to wide the wave a little bit, but hopefully we can come out on top.
Here's Gabriel Bras, the Portuguese captain, also captain of Porto's B team. Yet to make an appearance for their first team. It has been on the bench on a few occasions. It's as though Scotland are actually setting up off the ball, Dylan, in a 5-4-1 as opposed to a 5-3-2. Taylor Stevens going to play in a wider area, as will David Watson, with Ryan Oney through the middle. Watson's played there recently in wider positions under Neil McCann. Do you like him there? Do you prefer him in the middle of the park?
Yeah, obviously I think he's great at driving forward and get himself into good areas, but he's one of them players that can play anywhere on the pitch, wherever his manager asks. He'll do it to the best of his ability, and I'm sure he'll do that tonight.
Yeah, of course, David Watson, the most experienced player in the Scotland Under-21 squad, certainly in terms of appearances at senior level. 135 senior appearances for his club Kilmarnock. There's Chilakoa Mullen. Edges it forward for Oney, looking to try and back in, but Portugal come away with it. Stephen just to punch it forward for the run of Lobin, but that one's going to go all the way behind for a Portuguese goal kick.
Yeah, I think we're going to look to frustrate them and force them wide. You can see from the first couple of minutes we look very compact midfield and looks like a back 5 as well, so I'd imagine there'll be a lot of sliding and blocking passing lines.
Actually looks as though at times Connor Allen, who did think was going to be part of the back 5, has jumped to go and play with Gonçalo Maria. As Portugal come forwards, going into the box, goes down under the challenge of Dylan Lobin. Referee not interested in that one. It was Roger Fernandez who hit the deck. We'll get another look at this one again.
Yeah, it was just a delayed reaction. He does get a shove about 3 seconds before his legs start to give way, but yeah, to be honest, I think it's a booking. He's trying to buy it.
I don't think he's going to get a penalty for that. Roger Fernandez played his football in Saudi Arabia for Al Ittihad. It's actually a £30 million move in the summer from Braga. And 91 appearances for their first team. Now plays his football with Karim Benzema and N'Golo Kante, Fabinho among others. Scotland come forward. Here's Watson for frame.
This is what they've got to do well tonight, Adam. I think when they do get the ball, they've got to keep it. There's going to be long periods when Portugal play the ball round the back and make them work, so when they get it, they need to keep it.
Scotland doing just that at the minute. Here's Connor Allen, who has shifted back into that right centre-back position. Here's Graham stepping forward with the ball. Has had an impressive season for club and country. Was named man of the match, and Friday night's goal was draw against Czechia in front of his own fans at Dens Park as well.
Good play, aggressive play as well. Plays it wide and gets on the second pass, driving forward, wins a free kick.
Of course, the 21's not the only team in action tonight. Men's A squads up against Ivory Coast at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Dylan can bring us a score update from another game involving one of our other young national teams as well.
Yeah, the Under-19s have just went 2-0 up against Poland as well in a crucial game for them in the campaign. So 35 minutes played, 2-0.
Good result so far for the 19s as Graham plays a lovely pass forward for Oni. Oni's just straight offside though. Decent start this.
Yeah, really positive. Obviously, does that start with that 5-4-1? You think we're just going to sit in, but when we've got the ball, we look threatening, go forward.
There's Brass looking to come forward for Portugal. It's cut out by a combination of Stephen and Carr. Here's Watson looking for Taylor Stephen, but it's cut out, and Portugal will look now to try and form an attack of their own. Gabriel Bras or Roger Fernandez. Inside, this is Matthias de Amarim. Now Thiago Gabriel. There's Yusuf Shamiti. Just plays it off. Chilakua Mullen, and that'll go out for a Portugal corner.
I think one of the main things is when Scotland actually attacking is probably Portugal's best opportunity to score. But by the looks of it, I think when we're back behind the ball, we look very compact, and I think in transition moments, that's probably when Portugal look to try hurt us. So we need to be switch on when we're attacking.
Will be Fernandez of Al Ittihad to send it into the box. Good first contact from Luke Graham. Taylor Stephen looks to get it away, and Scotland will accept a free kick deep inside their own half. Heavy challenge. Stephen just colliding with Banyaki there. Banyaki, the youngest member of this Portuguese under-21 side. That's just his second cap, only 18 years of age, but he's played a couple of times for the Benfica first team. And been on the bench in some important Champions League games against the likes of Real Madrid and Juventus. Now, Dylan, I'm sure you've played in a lot of these games, youth international level, but also at club level, where you're up against a side who are, I guess, your massive underdogs in the game, and you're going to spend a lot of time without the ball. Just how draining can that be mentally, and how important is it the players remain concentrated tonight?
Yeah, I think concentration is key. But I like the start. I think Scotland, when they've got the ball, they've actually passed it, and bringing something to the game. I think sometimes when you don't see the ball for long periods and you don't have that confidence when you do get it and you're knackered. So it's good early signs that when we do have the ball, we look to get forward and keep the ball instead of just suffering for 90 minutes.
There's Brass for Gabriel. Banyaki. Portugal to switch the play now. That's going to be cut out by Lobin. So try and play it at the line, looking for Ryan Carr, but Portugal regain possession. Fernandez back for Brass inside. Play from Gonçalo Maria, Portuguese number 10. Maria with it again. Brass just sweeps it over to this left-hand side for Fernandez. Scotland can apply some pressure now through Ryan Oni, but Brass just skips the challenge. An opportunity for Banyaki to deliver, perhaps goes inside for Maria. Now the delivery comes in, looking at the back post, but Dylan Lobin, I think, gets the first contact on that and heads it off Parenti. Maybe a Scotland goal kick.
That's the danger with Portugal though. They can play through you and they can hurt you with intricate passes, but they can also put the ball in the box with the likes of Chimiti in there, who's a handful.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure a lot of our viewers tonight will be well aware of Yusuf Chimiti. Of course, plays his club football in Scotland for Rangers. 9 goals this campaign in his maiden season in the Scottish Premiership. Arrived for a big fee from Everton in the summer. He's got 3 goals in 6 under-21 caps for his country. His latest coming on Friday against Azerbaijan. It's Sharmiti that gives chase to Graham just now, but acrobatic clearance from the young Dundee defender. Look, Graham, one, Dylan, that you've quite enjoyed seeing both for his club and country this season. He seems to have got a lot of attention this week. More transfer speculation growing there as well.
Yeah, it's great to see, and that's the progression, and you want to see young Scottish boys getting a chance to play at senior level, and you know they're good enough, just give them the opportunity. So long may it continue, and it's great experience for him as well.
He started 30 of Dundee's 31 games so far in the Premiership this season. A report suggesting he was subject of heavy transfer interest in the January window, but such a key player for the Dark Blues. Look, Graham. Connor Allen back for Rory Adams. Here's Graham now. Plays it wide for Frame. Watson's made a run down the line, but it's not going to make it to Watson. But Scotland knocking it around pretty nicely once they get on it.
Yeah, you can see obviously there's clear patterns there that they've worked on and how they're going to hurt Portugal and build their way up the pitch. Instead of just a big hopeless ball up to the striker, they're passing through the midfield and stuff and causing problems for Portugal so far.
Kyle Ewer punches it forward on the volley, but it's going to go out for a Portugal throw. There's Sharmiti. And for Gabriel Brass. Roger Fernandez. It's an exciting front line for the host tonight. Carlos Forbes over on that right hand side as well. This is club football for Club Brugge. Here he is, drifting inside the pitch, just tackled by Ryan Oney. Is what Graham heads partially clear. There's Shermiti. Shermiti still in possession now. Just pops it back to Banyaki. There's Gonçalo Maria. Maria with a lovely clip ball met by the head of Tiago Parente. Bursts forward from left back, but it just goes over the bar.
Just shows you the numbers are committing. That's twice he's been on the end of a cross from Portugal. He was unlucky with that one as well.
Can be quite difficult to defend against, especially when you're playing a back five. You're not thinking that the left back in an opposite four is going to end up almost at the 6-yard box, are they?
Yeah, I think it's a type run as well. He's running across the defenders, timing their run and stuff like that, so it is difficult to defend against that.
Parente, another in the Portuguese side with plenty of first team experience. He broke into the Estoril first team at the beginning of last season. Of course, this game tonight, of course, being played in Estoril. He then made a move last January to Serie A. So a decent start for the 21s. Almost 50 minutes played, but not so great start for the men's A squads at the Hill Dickinson Stadium in Liverpool. Tonight, after 13 minutes, they trail by a goal to nil. Ivory Coast have taken an early lead through Nicolas Pepe, former Arsenal winger. Ball sent forward from Adams. Headed clear. Maria picks up possession and knocks it back. Scotland look to try and squeeze. Watson puts the pressure on. Kyle Ewer wins it, but it's going to spill for a Portuguese body. Is now Luis Ferrer's side can get their foot back on it. Maria. Mateus Duamarim. Roger Fernandez. Pops it inside. Lovely outside of the boot pass from João Samoas. Here's Forbes. Forbes looking to get it onto his favoured right foot. Good reaction save from Rooney Adams. Scotland still can't get it clear. It's just going to come back from Portugal.
Yeah, it's a great save. I think he takes a deflection as well. It shows you he's dangerous when he comes in on that left.
We should get another look at that in a second, but the reaction save with the feet of Rooney Adams. Spending this season on loan at East Fife from Dundee United. There's João Samoas. Just looking for a running behind. There was Samoas. Didn't come as he combines with Shermiti, whose pass is a little heavy, but the Portuguese keep possession.
Yeah, they're doing well. Scotland are forcing Portugal wide. Very compact, no spaces in between.
A point could be so crucial in this qualification campaign. And Czechia will have played one fewer game after tonight, but they do still have to play Portugal. So you would imagine if Scotland can nick a point tonight and win their other two, there's got a chance, but Roger Fernandez comes forward. It's pulled up for offside.
Yeah, it's that's one thing we need to look out for. Scotland, they do have a high line. See the distances there when they've got the ball, them late runs from midfield.
Is it important though when you are so compact, Dylan, still to play that high line so that when you are able to nick possession and turn it over, it doesn't just come straight back?
Yeah, I think you just don't want to sink too deep and end up just playing in your own box. But yeah, it needs to be well drilled and well communicated between the players when to drop when they've got their heads up, the opposition, that they know the ball's going to come in behind. So it is all about timing and communication.
There's Forbes threatening again off that right hand side. He pops it wide for Maria. Maria goes for the low cross, but look, Graham is on hand once again to clear. To Amarim. Roger Fernandez. To Amarim. Spreads it wide for the advanced Thiago Gabriel. It's another deep cross, looking for Shermiti this time, but it's going to come all the way over to this left-hand side for Fernandez. Faces up from Lobin, but Dylan Lobin is equal to his attempts to go by him, and Portugal will take his second corner kick of the match.
Yeah, he does well. 1v1 situation, gets out, stops the cross. Looks a tricky player.
Fernandez. Managed to get himself a half yard, but Dylan Lobin seems to be doing well with him so far. Of course, Dylan Lobin in virtual frame. You can see in your picture just now. 2-1 back for Scotland tonight. Also lately have been first choice fullbacks at their club Aberdeen. It's Gonçalo Maria. Poor delivery, but Scotland to fully clear the danger, but that's going to go all the way behind from Roger Fernandez. And Rudy Adams will gladly take the goal kick. Adams sends it forward. It's headed away by Gabriel Bras. Shamiti colliding with Jeremiah Chilakua-Mullen.
It's just a clash of heads.
Both players committed there. Head knock. Chilakua-Mullen been pretty much first name in the team sheet since joining Dunfermline about 18 months ago. Captain at times this season, stepping in for Kyle Benedictus, Chris Hamilton. Tonight is 22nd cap for Scotland Under-21s, making him the most capped Dunfermline Under-21 player of all time. This is his 9th cap at his latest club. Another clash of heads here. The referee will attend to. Look, Graham taking a sore one there.
Yeah, it's great defending though. Ball over his head, defender coming in behind him, and he managed to deal with it. Takes a sore one in his travels.
Good player, look, Graham, isn't he? He's quite a few times tonight he's been called into action, and especially in games where you're going to do a lot of defending, he's going to be very important.
Yeah, again, that's a tough one to defend, the ball over your head, and as you said, there's a few times where he's put his body on the line and had a great start to the game.
We're now just past the halfway point in the first half, Dylan. What have you made of Scotland's first quarter of this match?
Yeah, I think it's been a great start to the game, as I said. Really strong defensively. Keeper's made a save when he's had to, look very compact, but also had some good play going forward and not just lumping it forward to the striker, playing through the lines and getting players up the pitch and not just camping in their own half. So I think it's been a good 23 minutes, but they're going to need to do that for 90 minutes plus if they're going to get anything out of this game.
Portugal top side, of course, leading the way in Group B in this UEFA Euro Under-21 qualifier, the Championships in 2027. 2 points clear at the top at the minute. This is their game in hand, though, on Czechia, who occupy that second place spot. Scotland will have their eyes on that second place as they look to try and sneak into the playoffs. It's going to be tough, but getting something from this tonight certainly won't do any harm. There's Watson. Oh, Scotland were in there, but has pulled back for a Portugal free kick. Samois under pressure from Kyle Ure. Scotland have done well to nick it. Here's Ryan Carr of Ipswich Town. Taylor Stephen. Stephen looks to try and go from distance. Well over the top.
Great play again, won the ball in midfield, pass forward, run forward, getting numbers in there, so it's good. Portugal know if we're going to play little passes into the middle of the pitch, we're going to be snapping at the heels.
It's been a good season for Taylor Stephen. He's been the first half of the campaign on loan at Arbroath, recalled by St Johnstone in the winter window. It's just a late call up to this camp, replacing Christy Montgomery. There's Gabriel Brass for Roger Fernandez. Back for Thiago Gabriel, who plays his football in Serie A for Lecce. Lovely pass. But once again for Carlos Forbes. Forbes has played against Scottish opposition at club level this season. He started both legs against Rangers in their European qualifier at the beginning of this season. Of course, plays for Club Bruges. Brass. Portugal with almost every outfielder now inside the Scotland defensive third. Fernandez with an enticing delivery, headed away by Chilikoa Mullen. Scotland looking to try and get a body in front of it. Brave defending from David Watson, but it's still alive for Portugal. João Samoes. Gabriel. Brass.
It's good defending there. I think won the first header, then get out and block the second shot as well.
Stephen getting back to block the delivery from Taylor Stephen. That's come off Shamiti and is going to be a Scotland goal kick. Good delivery from Fernandez. Chilikoa Mullen out to it. In the block from Watson. Don't want to jinx anything, Dylan, but seem to be dealing with the Portuguese threat very well so far.
Yeah, I think I said it before, we've frustrated them, we've forced them wide and putting balls in the box and then defended well. First contacts and then getting out and one and second, blocking shots as well, so it's going to be needed tonight.
Ryan Owen going to try and latch on to a poor back pass from the Portuguese captain, Gabriel Brass, running from Ryan Owen. Good season for him as well. He opted to make the loan switch to Lincoln City in January. And of course, top of League One, the third tier in English. All 3 goals in 9 appearances since that January loan move. Still just 19 years of age, Ryan Oney.
Yeah, he's still really young, and fair play. He's went out and he's got some goals, got some games. Hopefully finish his season strong and just build on it. He's a young lad and he's got a lot ahead of him, so I'll do his confidence well as well, getting some goals.
It seems like an eternity since he made that move from Hamilton Accies to Sheffield Wednesday. Still just 19 years of age, as Dylan says, massive future ahead for him. Here's Moreira for Gabriel. Gabriel looking to play that slide rule past. Portugal could be in here. It's coming back for Fernandes. Fernandes gets the opener. Sweeps it in with his right boot. And despite 28 minutes of admirable defensive work, Scotland find themselves behind. Dylan, it all started with a brilliant pass from Thiago Gabriel picking out Carlos Forbes.
Yeah, it's that wee inside run. That's the problem when you're a back 5. The full-back's out marking the winger, and then that wee inside run that the outside defender doesn't match, and then they'd be disappointed with that goal, to be honest with you. Defended so well, and then one pass and it caused a bit of chaos and just dumped out and blocked the shot.
It's Roger Fernandes, just his second goal for Portuguese under-21 side. Scotland have been so good defensively in this first period.
It's the first time they've actually broken any lines with any passes. We've been really solid, really strong, and then just switch off and the defender doesn't get out and block the passing lane. They just come down the side, and before you know it, it's in the back of the net.
Does this change the approach in any way, or do you reckon it stays the same until half-time? The fact that Scotland will find themselves a goal behind and are in need of some points.
Yeah, I think they need to stick with the game plan, stay in the game, and then maybe roll the dice, maybe get into the second half at some point, 60 minutes, and maybe get another striker on the pitch or something and do something different.
Ryan Carr penalised for a late push in the middle of the park on João Chimoes. My apologies, it was a separate incident that sees Chimoes down. Kyle Ewer involved. Looks as though Portugal going to be okay to continue. There's actually that pass down the line for Banyaki. He was looking to try and pick out Shermiti, but Portugal perhaps getting a little bit of good fortune for the ball to spin back to Fernandes. Now Scotland can intercept in the form of Luke Graham. Still have it with Watson. Moreira just gets in front of the Scotland captain.
Just need to stay in the game till half time and we jump on something here.
Yeah, Taylor Stephen making the most of that poor pass. Ryan Oney's found himself in on goal. Oney goes over the top. That would have been offside in any instance. Kyle Ewer, as he so often does, need to play forward as quickly as possible.
It's a great pass as well. It's just unfortunate he's offside. It's
tight. He might have been on.
Yeah, he looks on from the angles there.
Ryan Oney wasn't able to apply the finish anyway, but
I'm not a fan of VAR, but I'd love to see it on that.
An instance like that must give Scotland confidence, so because it comes from a Portuguese mistake. And so often we've seen Scotland be able to pounce on those errors.
Yeah, we've had it a few times tonight. Snapping at the heels midfield, winning the ball back and then getting numbers forward. Hopefully one will pay off.
Here's a great ball from Kyle Ewer. Here United from Celtic. Here's Fernandez, the scorer of that opening goal, facing up Dylan Lobban. To Amarim. Test to Amarim, back for Fernandez. He'll take it again. Looks for the reverse inside for Shermiti. Shermiti tries to spray it wide, but doesn't get his pass right. Here's Rory Adams, closed down by the Rangers forward. Ryan Carr, Connor Allen. Allen's passes intercepted by Joe Amarim. Lovely footwork for Moreira. Here's Carlos Forbes. He'll try and shift it onto that left again, but Scotland, I was about to say get it clear, but it's going to come straight back. Portugal to advance again with Gabriel and Fernandez. Gabriel urged to shoot, but opts to go wide for Banyaki. He steps inside. Patient build up from the hosts to Amarim. His pass is cut out. Kyle Ewer looks to go forward again, but Ryan Oney just wasn't quite on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I think he was looking for it in behind and he played it on his feet kind of wide. That's the key moments when you can really hurt this Portugal side when they're committing forward.
The opportunities are there, but Scotland will have to suffer out of possession for considerable periods. Here's Carlos Forbes. Forbes back for João Samoes. Forbes again. Banyaki now. He just hangs one up for Shermiti, headed clear by Shulakoa Mullen. And behind for a Scotland goal kick.
We slip past down the side, and again, it's great defending. Clear the box, get out.
You a fan of Jeremiah Shulakoa Mullen? It's quite a good season at Dunfermline this year.
Yeah, he looks solid. Good experience for him. Obviously Neil Lennon there as well. He'll be looking after him and giving a lot of guidance. And you can see he's very comfortable against top sides here. You can see tonight.
Yeah, of course, really impressive in Dunfermline's victories in the Scottish Cup against Burning and Aberdeen. Biggest game of their season to come in a couple of weeks' time in the Scottish Cup semi-final at Hampden Park, where they'll take on rivals Falkirk. Shulakoa Mullen partnering a couple of guys with Bairns connections at the back tonight. Connor Allen, currently at Falkirk. And Luke Graham was there last season. There's another Falkirk man right there. Barney Stewart warming up. Robin for Allen. Ewer. Moody Adams sweeps it wide for Graham. Frame. Nice football from Scotland, just working it from left to right. Ryan Carr just goes for the perhaps more adventurous pass in behind for Lobban.
Yeah, it's good play. One on one side out the other. Switch of play. Just unlucky with the final pass to get him behind.
Here's Thiago Gabriel. French-born as a defender. Plays his football in Italy. Plays his international football for Portugal. Roger Fernandez. He'll deliver with his right foot this time, headed clear again by Chilikoa Mullen. Forbes. Damarim pops it wide for Parente. He'll get it back again. Damarim seeing lots of the ball tonight. Came through Bordeaux. With 9 appearances in Ligue 2 for the French side before moving to Vilmoreschool. Here's Fernandez. Parente puts it inside. Scotland get clear. Oni for Ewer, and Ewer's pass just slightly behind Taylor Stephen, who is looking to try and make that run in behind. Banyaki. Good feet from the right back. Forbes will deliver now on the left foot, looking for Shermiti, but that's headed away by Chilikoa Mullen again. Shot from distance coming from Moreira, but Kyle Ewer on hand.
This is where it's really important to make sure we don't concede again before half time, and Portugal are having a lot of possession and making Scotland work.
Fernandez, scorer of the only goal so far, Trenting down this left hand side again. He hangs one back up to the centre of the box. Scotland deal with it, but only as far as the left foot of João Chimoes. Good save from Rudy Adams again, isn't it?
Yeah, great save. Again, numbers round the ball, deal with the first one, and then it just drops out for the short edge of the box, and he manages to pad it away.
Banyaki. Scotland under a fair bit of pressure now. Banyaki and Forbes combining again on this right-hand side. Fewer than 5 minutes until the interval. Scotland just have to try and hang in there. Left-footed cross coming in from the right-hand side. Connor Allen beats it away. Ryan only going to be a real threat in the counter with his pace up there. You can see that.
Yeah, they're leaving 1v1 at the back, and that could be a big one for Scotland if they're going to get something in the game, maybe in transition moments.
Here's Gabriel Brash. Parente. Back to Brass. Portuguese skipper looking for some movement. Here's Parente for that out ball, and Fernandez once again hopes to have a run at Lobben, but he's forced back this time. Deep cross this time. It's going to go all the way to Parente. Comes back in for Shermiti, but his effort's not going to trouble Rudy Adams. What have you made of Yusuf Shermiti's impact in his first season in Scotland so far, Dylan?
Yeah, it's been up and down. I think obviously playing for Rangers, you expected to score a lot of goals with the opportunities you get, and I don't think the numbers are really there, but again in some big games. He's come up with big goals, so I think
a bit of a mishap. Miscommunication at the back there between Lobban and Rudy Adams. Scotland get away with it.
Yeah, it was just a nothing ball, and goalkeeper decides to come out in the centre half, try to head it back. Managed to get it away though.
I think Lobban perhaps thought that Adams was still inside his box, but Adams had come a couple of yards outside. He can't pick the ball up from there as Ryan Carr giving his final warning from tonight's Macedonian officials. A few fouls. Any more and he'll be in the book, says Igor Jovkeski. Fernandez try and whip his left boot around this one, cleared by Chilikoa Mullen again, but Portugal still in possession. Here's Carlos Forbes. Banyaki gets it onto his right boot, and lovely finish from Banyaki. Just creates a yard and lasers it into the bottom corner. And just before half time, the teenager Daniel Banyaki doubles Portuguese advantage.
Love to see it back again here, but I think it's a great touch. I think he lets it run across his body and then chops it back onto his right foot, and then he, I think, puts it through the legs of the defender, and the keeper's got no chance.
Yeah, lovely finish, lovely touch from the right back. Scotland initially clearing the ball, but eventually it came back to the full back in an advanced position. And Dylan, as you say, that's just pure quality.
Yeah. Listen, Scotland have got numbers behind the ball, and it's hard work for them midfielders. I know that myself. It actually takes
It takes the neck off, doesn't it? Yeah. Look great.
Didn't notice that. Yeah. But yeah, they well worked, and it's hard to move your feet, and he's chopped it back on, and gets fortunate right enough with the deflection, takes it in the back of the net.
It might actually go down as a Graham Owen goal. That may have been going beyond the post, as the fourth official confirms 2 additional minutes at the end of this first period. That is a first international goal for Daniel Banyaki. Just his second under-21 cap for the youngest member of their squad. Starting to break into the Benfica first team. His quality certainly clear for all to see. Here's Parente. Roger Fernandez into the final minute of the first period. Scotland trailing by a couple of goals to nil. Started the game also well, but always going to be tough against opposition of this quality. Here's Carlos Forbes. Skips by the challenge of Watson. Forbes still with it, gets it wide to Banyaki. Portugal looking for a third before half time, but Rudy Adams deals with the cross.
They've actually done well as well, Scotland. I think it's just a couple of occasions, as you said, a bit of quality in the end, but my biggest fear was conceding the second just before half time. I think it was 1-0 going in. I think Scott would team talk be a lot different about keeping us in the game and build on it, but 2-0, it's a hard ask.
Good work from Ryan Carr, but he just gets away from Lobban as the referee brings an end to the first 45 minutes of this one. Scotland started the game well, but they trail at half time by 2-0. And Dylan, the first chance of the game for Portugal fell to Carlos Forbes, but good save from Rudy Adams here.
Yeah, it's a great save. I think coming through bodies as well. Yeah, reaction save, comes off the defender and managed to get it away.
taking a bit of a deflection. And Scotland did have a couple of sights of goal of their own. Taylor Stephen was presented this opportunity after Kyle Ewer won back possession in the middle of the park, and Scotland had the opportunity to counter a couple of times, but that time just a little wasteful.
Yeah, again, win the ball back, playing forward and get a strike at goal.
Portugal did present a few opportunities to Scotland by giving the ball away. Ryan Oney almost finding himself through and goal. Jelko Valio quick off his line to clear that one, but for all of Scotland's great work in the opening 20 minutes, we were eventually beaten. Roger Fernandez applying the finish. Really, Dylan, that was the first time Scotland had been cut open by the hosts.
Yeah, we frustrated them, forced them wide, put balls in the box, and then we just switch off. The midfielder and the outside defender just kind of switch off, and causes all sorts of problems.
Banyaki pulling the ball back for Fernandez. He was fortunate that it did take heavy deflection off Luke Graham before finding Fernandez, who applied the finish. And Scotland did have a big opportunity to try and equalise. This one for Ryan Oney. Kyle Ewer picking him out, couldn't apply the finish. Now, the linesman's flag had gone up to him, but you weren't convinced this one would have been offside.
No, on the replay, I think if we're drawing lines, I think it could be really, really close. But again, good play, win the ball, playing forward, and I know he puts it wide, but yeah, it was a close one.
Portugal did look to try and find the second. They applied a lot of pressure towards the end of that second period. Came close again with João Simoes on the volley, forcing another good save from Rudy Adams before eventually he got that second goal. A great touch from Banyaki, and on what we thought was a brilliant finish on second viewing, which is though perhaps taking a bit of a deflection off Luke Graham.
Yeah, the player does really well. He chops it back on his right foot, hits it across the defender, and he got fortunate with the deflection that takes it past the goalkeeper.
Banyaki helped make that first goal, the scorer of the second, but you'll see from this angle maybe the ball was heading wide. But he's not going to mind with that. Big second half to come, and Estoril, Scotland trail Portugal by 2-0.
tempo de intervalo neste jogo de qualificação para o Campeonato da Europa, mas já está a correr bem e vai continuar assim. Portugal 2, Escócia 0, uma vez mais. E em nome da Federação Portuguesa de Futebol, muito obrigado por esta fantástica moldura humana que estamos a ter aqui no António Coimbra da Mota. Muito obrigado pelo vosso apoio, pelo vosso empenho em empurrar a nossa equipa, a nossa seleção para a vitória. Eles aqui nada, já vão regressar aqui ao relevado para a segunda parte, mas enquanto isso não acontece, vamos lá animarem nas bancadas com essas palmas ao som da música em 3, 2, 1... Ok, esperem lá. Só a bancada, tive sol ainda há bocado, agora já não. Só aquela bancada ali na frente, não é a bancada dos bancos, a bancada que está à minha frente. Bora lá, em 3, 2, 1... Ok, só a bancada aqui, atrás dos bancos, para lá, em 3, 2, 1... Ok, de casa, agora que já estamos todos em sintonia, o que é que vamos fazer? Quando batemos palmas, gritamos Portugal, ok? Vai correr bem, então bora lá, 3, 2, 1... Portugal! É isso mesmo, Estoril. Muito obrigado pelo vosso apoio. Daqui a pouco vamos receber as equipas! Já não é subido daqui a nada, está mesmo quase. O regresso dos nossos jogadores. Vi aí durante a primeira parte a tentarem desensaiar aqui a onda. Vamos lá ver se desta vez a onda pega ou não. Aí desse lado aí da bancada, que não é aqui dos bancos, é a bancada do salto há pouco. Ali naquele lado esquerdo. Vamos lá ensaiar a onda. Começam vocês e depois chega a bancada toda. Vai parar aqui ao pé da bancada atrás do Portugal, do Banco de Portugal e segue, ok? Seguiram? Mais ou menos. Bora lá. Aí desse lado, estou comigo ou não? Então bora lá. Em 3, 2, 1, bora! Então, como é que é? Bora lá outra vez. 3, 2, 1, bora! Ok. Segue aqui. Esperem lá. Vamos fazer isto tudo fora. Uma salva de palmas para a nossa equipa, para Portugal. Aqui está, lá. E agora aqui, vamos tentar começar aqui. Ok? Atrás do lugar do Portugal. Do Banco de Portugal, bora lá. Então vá. 3.
Welcome back to our live coverage of this evening's game between Portugal Under-21s and Scotland Under-21s. Big game in Scotland's hopes of qualifying for the 2027 Under-21 European Championship. They've got it all to do in this second period, trailing the hosts by 2-0. There's that man there, Roger Fernandez, who opened the scoring after 28 minutes, just before half-time. A second goal added from right back Daniel Banyaki. As it stands, Scotland's 3 points behind Czechia in second place. They occupy that playoff spot. At the minute, Scotland, after tonight, will have played a game more. So will there be any changes at half-time? Teal Graham there's taking the armband on, so that would suggest that David Watson is being withdrawn at half-time. Hopefully, confirmation of that very shortly. See Tyler Fletcher in your picture there, son of Darren, ready to make his Scotland Under-21 debut. He's on in place of David Watson. So big moment for young Tyler Fletcher, 19 years of age. As mentioned, son of Darren Fletcher. He's going to play in central midfield. Just made his Premier League debut as recently as last month against Spurs.
That's great to see. Let's see what he can do. Obviously, got a big future ahead, so get him involved and get in some games, and hopefully be a big part of things going forward for Scotland.
Tyler and his brother Jack, both eligible to play for both Scotland and England. Tyler is formally committed his future to Scotland in the press this week. Almost had an opportunity early in the second period there, but it's a big moment for him today, this as well. I'm sure Darren will be watching at home. What are you hoping to see from him, Dylan?
Yeah, I think obviously they've got high hopes of him. He's a young lad, but he's got a big future ahead of him, and it's great to get him involved with the international scene. And again, in a couple of years' time, he's probably going to be chapping at the door of the first team. Hopefully, like a lot of the other boys here who want to see that progression.
Yeah, hopefully gets a few more first team opportunities at club level as well for Man United. There was an opportunity for Portugal to come forward a few moments ago, but Shamiti just got the ball caught underneath his foot. Stop that attack. Yeah, as mentioned, Tyler Fletcher has been able to make his Premier League debut, now his Scotland Under-21s debut, 19 years of age. He looks to really try and make his name in senior football. Who's Luke Graham? He's taken down by Shamiti. Sent forward for Ryan Oney. Good hold up play from Oney, backs into the defender. Pops it wide for Mitchell Frame, but it's come off of Carlos Forbes, so Scotland take the throw. Graham once again. Steps out from defence, lovely pass inside for Fletcher. Frame still giving chase. Work from Banyaki, Fletcher inside for Oney. Good challenge from Thiago. Dylan, some early signs that Scotland still able to nick possession high up the pitch.
Yeah, again, straight balls into the middle of the pitch, and we've managed to turn it over and get ourselves forward. Just need to kind of try to do that as much as we can. I think we started the game like that as well, and then we kind of get forced to sink back into our kind of half. So as the game progresses, hopefully we can keep numbers forward and don't sink in too much.
Banyaki goes back to Thiago. And Roger Fernandez. Left-footed delivery cleared by Chilikoa Mullen. Just a reminder of what happened elsewhere in Group B today. Czechia, who are in second position, beating bottom place Gibraltar by 5-0. Bulgaria, who also are in with an outside chance of second place, drew 0-0 with Azerbaijan, so that was a good result for Scotland. Leaves Scotland 3 points behind Czechia in that playoff spot. Comeback looking unlikely against top of the group tonight, so Scotland may have to win their final 2 matches against Bulgaria and Azerbaijan and hope for snookers as well. They are to claim that final playoff spot. They'll play again in this competition until the 30th of September, so the squad could look quite a bit different between now and then. Here's Roger Fernandez. Fernandez goes beyond Stephen, but that's going to go comfortably into the arms of Rudy Adams. Long one for Ryan Oney. Oney's done it ever so well, but penalised by the match referee.
Yeah, I don't see much in that. I think the defender just tries to get a hold of him, and there's always going to be arms getting thrown about.
It's not a foul, is it?
No, it's really soft, but again, it's a different type of players and teams that you're up against, and they're smart. They use their bodies well, they put themselves in positions and then force their effort into making a decision.
Best side you came up against at youth international level? Can you remember playing against any teams in particular that were really good?
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it, but if I have to, it's played England. I think it was under 21s, 19s or 21s down in England somewhere, Sheffield. I think it was 6. Yeah. But when I look back at the starting lineup, all the big guns are there. Yeah, Harry Kane's on the bench, I think. Raheem Sterling, all these kind of boys. Top side.
Yeah, great side indeed. Sure there'll be a number of these Portuguese stars who will go on to play for the men's A squad. This man could be one of them. Carlos Forbes of Club Brugge chopping back inside of Fletcher, delivers it and finds the head.
It's a left back again.
It's a left back again, indeed, yeah, Thiago Parente. Just drifting into a number 9 position and heading over the top.
So difficult to pick up though as well. You're expecting the cross, everyone's set, and then you've got basically a left wing back making a run across the penalty box.
So committed to I mean, it's not even as if we're playing a back 5. It's the left back in a flat 4.
Yeah.
Making it all the way through to the penalty box. There's another header goal.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because obviously we're trying to make things difficult and be compact, but that also just allows them to be super aggressive at the back and just commit people forward. And you've seen it a few times where the left back's got on them with a few crosses.
Good work from Mitchell. Frame goes by a couple of bodies for Ryan Oney, and good save from João Carvalho. Really good run from the Aberdeen left back Frame. Just skipped a few challenges. Almost an opportunity for Scotland to pull one back.
Yeah, he skips by a few good feet, managed to get the cross in. Goalkeeper does well, to be fair, but encouraging signs again. We need more of that. We don't want to just suffer for 90 minutes, so try to get forward and take something out of the game if we're going to get something.
There's Banyaki. Just clips one over the top for Forbes. Forbes is quick, he's going to get there. He beats Graham. Forbes inside, an opportunity to make it 3, and 3 it is. Gonçalo Moreira. It's his second appearance for the under-21s, and it's his second goal. And now it looks to be a long, long way back for Scotland.
Yes, kind of same problems. I think when you're playing a back five, the full-back's out wide and we get done in behind with the outside centre half's not covering space well enough, and then again he gets across it in the box and he's able to take a touch and get a finish with no pressure, so that'll be frustrating for Scott Gemo and the team there.
This ball cut in behind for Forbes. It was Graham giving chase. Just seemed to... I mean, Graham was expecting Frame to be alongside him. It's not like him to give up so much territory in a wide area.
It's happened a few times as well where Scotland have sank in now to defend their goal and the ball's kind of been cut back. You've seen it a few headers, and then even there it's kind of like a pass back and takes a touch and then try to get out and block.
Doesn't take nothing away from the finish from Gonçalo Moreira. As mentioned, second goal in his second cap. This can be first call up to the 21s for the young Benfica prospect. Scored his first away to Azerbaijan on Friday. As Ryan Carr is dispossessed by Matthias Diamarim. Ball up the line for Oney. Taylor Stephen just runs into a ruck of bodies, and Ryan Carr fouls again, and I fear this may be a first yellow for persistent fouling. A fourth offence of the game so far for Ryan Carr.
That's not a foul.
Didn't see a card being brandished, so I've gotten away with it. Banyaki for Shermiti. Shermiti tackled by Chilikoa Mullen. He just barges Fletcher in the back. Ball out for the Portugal throw in. Scotland making a couple of changes now. Barney Stewart is going to come on in place of Ryan Oney. The like for like swap up top. And also Sam Clew-Harding coming on centre back for Connor Allen. Also a like for like swap. A couple of young guys with plenty of top flight senior experience now.
Yeah, it's good to see. I think obviously this game looks like it's got away from us, 3-0 down, so chance to get some boys on it. Deserve the call up and deserve the minutes as well.
Yeah, double change for Portugal as well. Rodrigo Rego is coming on in place of Tiago Parente, and Yusuf Shamiti is withdrawn and is replaced by Rodrigo Ribeiro. That would suggest a change in shape. A couple of forwards coming on. Perhaps Portugal thinking about goal difference, not that they should need to. In fact, they do have such a considerable advantage at the top of the table. There's Roger Fernandez. Ribeiro is playing up front. Direct replacement for Shamiti, but this is where Rodrigo Rego is going to go and play in that left back position, just in behind Roger Fernandez. I'm sure Scotland will be happy to see Parenti off the pitch. The left back was causing plenty of issues. A couple of goals in his 5 caps as well, certainly a goal threat.
Yeah, he's one for making them late runs into the box, and he was causing problems for Scotland.
Look, Graham gives it away, but he's filled. Fletcher gets it going quickly. Frame back for Fletcher. Goes all the way back to Rudy Adams. Adams up for the diagonal for Lobben, but it's cut out. Good interception from Kyle Ewer. Now Barney Stewart can give chase. And Dylan, there were some clamours from some supporters for Barney Stewart to be included in the senior squad. How impressive have you been with his contribution at, well, both at Falkirk and Dunfermline this season?
Yeah, I've been really impressed. Obviously, it's a great story from where he was a year and a half, 2 years ago to where he is now, and yeah, it's great to see. And again, I can see why the question is asked. You want to give people opportunities before we go to the World Cup, just to see if they can bring anything to the table, something different. And yeah, I can see why the question was asked, but he's got a big future. A lot of the lads have here, so this will do him a world of good, getting some experience, and who knows, in the camp's coming up next time, he's in a good position to put his name in the hat.
Yeah, I'm sure most people watching tonight will be familiar with the Barney Stewart story. Of course, Falkirk signed him last summer, 2 summers ago now, from Heriot-Watt University. He was loaned straight back to the university outfit who were playing in the 6th tier. Impressed there, continued to bang them in. Broke into the Falkirk first team at the beginning of 2025. They got promoted to the Premiership. Went out on loan to Dunfermline, played ever so well there. And now back playing for Falkirk after being recalled in the winter window. 17 goals in all competitions across the Championship, Premiership and Cups this season. He made his first Under-21 appearance in the last camp. And now he makes his 4th appearance tonight. Playing at sole striker role tonight. Going on in place of Ryan Oney. Deep looping delivery, back post looking for Gabriel Brash, but the captain heads well over. Yusuf Shamiti there. Was among the goals against Azerbaijan on Friday. Wasn't able to threaten too much tonight.
Yeah, he's not been in the game as much. He's dropping deep.
seems to score against Hearts and Celtic anyway, so perhaps saving his goals for the title run-in domestically. 8 of his 9 Rangers goals coming against their title rivals. Barney Stewart looking to chase down Gabriel Brash. Banyaki chops inside of Fletcher. What's this? Left hand side now for Rodrigo Rego. Rego has to play a bounce pass with Moreira, gets it back though. Portugal remaining calm in possession. Scotland really struggling to get a touch now. Here's Roger Fernandez again, going to that back post, looking for the header of Rodrigo Ribeiro. Ribeiro did get a good leap on this, but not able to find the finish.
Yeah, I know it's difficult. I'd love to see Scotland maybe try something different though, and maybe go to a back 4 and get an extra midfielder on and get us up the pitch a wee bit. It looks like we're going to do some serious suffering here, and Barney Stewart coming on, and you can see there he's fighting against 4 centre halves.
A tough shift for Barney as he wins possession back there, intercepts Kyle Ewart, plays it forward now for Stewart, lays it off for Fletcher. Good work this from Scotland. Frame can come forward now. Mitchell Frame just looking to try and roll it in behind for the run of Taylor Stephen. Scotland, such limited opportunities, unable to make the most of that one.
Yeah, they work it well again, but I feel for them because they're doing a lot of suffering, a lot of defending, and then you're asking them to plough forward and be really clinical in the passing.
Here's Fernandez, it's going to come all the way back for Forbes. One winger to the other. Card has taken out. Scotland free kick. There was that opportunity there. Mitchell Frame came forward. Portugal came up the other end. So, not a great night for the 2 most senior male national teams tonight. 21s, of course, trailing by 3-0 here. The men's A squad 1-0 down in Liverpool against Ivory Coast. But Dylan, you've been keeping tabs on the 19s tonight. All going well there?
Yeah, it's finished 3-0 against Poland. So with Italy beating Ireland as well, it puts Scotland in a really good position to finish in that 2nd spot.
A great night for the 19s and a great clearance. A block, should I say, from Samuel Clough-Harding to prevent it being 4. Roger Fernandez was looking for his 2nd of the evening. Good work from Forbes and Ribeiro combining on this right-hand side. There was a chance for Fernandez, and there was Clough-Harding putting his body on the line to deflect that one behind for Portugal corner. Delivery comes in again. It's headed clear by Chilicola Mullen once again. Young James Wilson stripped and ready to come on for Scotland. Portugal also going to make a change. Diego Rodriguez is the man to the left of your picture there. First team regular at Braga. So Taylor Stephen withdrawn for Scotland. James Wilson coming on. Does that look as though Scotland will go to front 2 perhaps, Dylan?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so as well. It gives them an opportunity to get the ball up to the 2 strikers, and let's see what they can do. Get some touches of the ball.
João Chamois, the man withdrawn for tonight's opponents. Diego Rodriguez coming on in place of him. Regular for Braga this season. 46 first team appearances over his first 2 seasons there as a first team player. put at Celtic Park earlier on this season in the Europa League, was on the bench for the game against Rangers. Here's Moreira. Moreira pops it inside for Forbes, comes back, big chance for Ribeiro. Portugal coming close to a fourth once again. Here's Duamarim, Banyaki, Forbes. Portugal really putting on the pressure now. The cross comes all the way over to the left-hand side for Fernandez. Perhaps a little bit of showboating there from the Al Ittihad winger.
Yeah, I think you'll see your first yellow card of the night. Probably going against him for the showboating.
See what Dylan Lobban produces next time he can get close to Fernandez. Saw something similar in the English League Cup final from Ryan Cherky. Not quite the same level of exuberance here, but certainly a box of tricks as Fernandez. I suppose £30 million price tag slapped on your head, you can afford to do such things. Headed clear by Jolicoa Mullen. Graham inside for Ure. First time pass from Ure. Frame with the driving run forward. Just runs out of grass to run into it. As Cameron rolls it back for Carr. Better spell this from Scotland. They're just knocked off it in the middle of the park by Ribeiro, who's come on as a substitute. Also a man with plenty of experience at first team level. He plays for Augsburg in the Bundesliga. On loan from Sporting. It's an option to buy there as well. He's become a regular in the Bundesliga since joining in the winter window. 12 first team appearances for Sporting in the first half of the campaign. Here's Ure. It's for Luke Graham, but it's going to come off. There you go. Scotland can't get the corner. It's go safely back into the arms of João Carvalho. James Wilson, one of a few Scottish players who decided to make the move recently south of the border, done signing for Tottenham Hotspur, albeit only on loan initially from Heart of Midlothian. What did you make of that move? He appears to have got some first team exposure already.
Yeah, I think obviously it looked like he wasn't getting much game time at Hearts, obviously with Shankland and the way things are going there, so it's an opportunity for him to go down south and get some games, and I think it opens doors as well, maybe in the future that he maybe wasn't going to get sitting on the bench here. So yeah, good luck to him, and it's obviously his Hearts' asset as well, so if he goes and does well and there's people interested, then it suits all parties.
Yeah, just 19 years of age, James Wilson. So much first team experience already. Last campaign, sure Hearts fans will remember forever that last minute goal at Easter Road against Hibs. Scotland fans will remember him as Scotland's youngest ever player to play for the men's national side, making his debut almost exactly a year ago against Greece. He's been on the bench a couple of times for Tottenham already, including in the North London derby. Daniel Banyaki. Carlos Forbes. Pass there from Thiago Gabriel, just too heavy for Roger Fernandez. Oh, and it appears the lights have gone out and they're back on. Momentary blackout in Estoril.
Hopefully Scotland have got an extra player on now.
Let's hope we don't have any more electrical faults. Gabriel or Gabriel Brass inside. Chelo Moreira now. One of the goal scorers. Great ball forward looking for Ribeiro, but just a little bit too much on it. Dylan, who's impressed you in this Portuguese side tonight? A few boys on the score sheet, a few boys on the, oh, the lights have gone out again. We'll get back to that in a moment, but I mean, it's been a great night for the Portuguese on the pitch. Some top football from some of their players, but I'm sure those behind the scenes are not too happy with what we're seeing of you. I mean, I don't think you would have, but have you played in anything like this, Dylan? Like
no, I've not. I'm just wondering if we can get a 3-0 victory here, if the game gets abandoned.
It would only be fair, wouldn't it?
We'll take a replay at home.
Our Sparkies are better than your Sparkies. You'll never sing that. As the crowd meet the momentary blackout with ironic cheers and a light show. Lights fade back up. Once again, we're able to play. Just 15 more minutes for the lights to stay on. We'll be okay. Don't know if any of our viewers can relate. Dylan, I'm sure you've played at such a high level that perhaps you've never experienced this before, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate to lights going out bang on 10 o'clock at the end of a pitch booking and having to get your boots off in the dark. Yeah, no, I've got a lot of cousins and stuff that play five-a-sides and different types of football, different levels, and yeah. Oh, lovely touch from Fletcher. Fletcher with a chance for a goal in his debut. It just spins wide of the target. I think João Carvalho got an arm in that, but it was a great move from Scotland. It was Tyler Fletcher who won it in the first place. Barney Stewart. And look at that run from Fletcher. Outside of the boot pass from Stewart. Fletcher, yeah, just forcing a good save there from Carvalho.
Yeah, he does really well. He starts off the attack and keeps going, gets on the end of it, great touch. Really unlucky not to get a goal.
Carrier with the delivery for Graham. Chilikoa Mullen just over the crossbar. Scotland have had a few half chances tonight.
Yeah, they have. I think not many times going forward, but when they have, they've looked threatening.
There's Matthias Mane going to be coming on for Portugal, as is João Muniz. Looks as though the men withdrawn are Matthias Diamarim Daniel Banyaki. Interesting to see how Portugal line up now. Nunez has gone to right back. Mane will go and play in a more advanced position as Gonçalo Moreira will come a bit deeper. And Matheus Mane is a player you mentioned to me in the warm-up, Dylan. Noticed was on the bench tonight, with a player you recognise. Of course, I'm sure our viewers will recognise as well. Plays his football in the Premier League for Wolverhampton Wanderers. 20 appearances in the English top flight.
Yeah.
This season, just 18 years of age as well.
Yeah, he's really young, but you can see that he's exciting when he gets on the ball. He can make things happen. That's the last thing you want to see as a Scotland player when you're defending so well for 80 minutes. Then they bring on players like that. But this is what you're up against, and it's a good learning curve for the boys as well. Coming up against top players.
Yeah, just his second cap, should I say. This is his first camp for his 21 debut against Azerbaijan on Friday. An interesting story with Matheus Mane as well. He moved to England at the age of just 8. He actually came through at Rochdale. He had one appearance in the National League there as a 16-year-old before moving to Wolves. Really has broken through into the first team this season. 20 appearances in the top flight. He's playing for his country at under-21s level. And the delivery comes in. It looked as though it was bound for the head of Mane, but Scotland get it clear. Good delivery from Rodriguez nonetheless.
Defend it really well. It's a dangerous ball you see there. It's just enticing the striker to go get on the end of it, but great defending again.
There's Rodriguez going forward again, defending Forbes. Good work from Kyle Ewart. Barney Stewart going to look to try and hold this in as well with the outside of his foot once again. That's a feature of Stewart's play that is been a strong part of his all-round performance, even since his university days with Heriot University. Scotland making a change as well. Ryan Carr is coming off and will be replaced by Emilio Lawrence. And perhaps Wilson may move to the right-hand side now, with Lawrence going off the left. Emilio Lawrence, naturally a wide player. Plays his football for Luton Town on loan from Man City. We'll see how the front line shapes up. Here's Lawrence now. He's able to keep a hold of it. A couple of nutmegs in there, and Scotland will accept the throw in. Chilikoa Mullen. James Wilson had made the run down the right there, but Lobban couldn't get the ball out of his feet to find him. Good intervention from Thiago Gabriel. Chilikoa Mullen. Ewart. Fletcher not scared to drop deep and get the ball, Dylan.
I've been really impressed with him. Drop him in, getting on it, really comfortable. also getting forward as well. Showing good legs in there.
Yeah, big shoes to fill. Of course, a lot of weight on the Fletcher name. His dad made 80 appearances for the senior national team. Clearly his two sons are incredibly talented footballers, and we've seen evidence of that in the last 37 minutes or so.
And just physically as well, they just resemble him so much, don't they? With the
Yeah, no, he does look like.
they're tall and look like good runners. You see from midfield getting forward. So
Yeah, had that lung-busting run that ended in an opportunity that he combined really well with Barney Stewart's. It's going to be a yellow card for Leonardo Barroso.
Informação. Estão no estádio António Coimbra da Mota, 3.973 espectadores.
The guy incorrectly said that João Muniz had come on at right back, but it's actually Leonardo Barroso. 5 up to the 3 from distance, please excuse the error. Barroso playing his football in the US, actually, for Chicago Fire. Moved there a year ago. Former Sporting Lisbon youth player. Portugal really just calming this one, really controlling the tempo, made plenty of changes. So much attacking talent on the pitch now, not forcing it. Here's Moreira for Rodriguez. He's going to be back for Gabriel. Moreira. So that diagonal run of Rego, who's moved forward from left back, and Rego just goes over the top. Big opportunity for Portugal to get their fourth, and oh, what a touch that is.
oh, it's unbelievable. He just picks it out there and he does the hard part, puts it over the bar, but it's a great pass. And that's what I've been really impressed with Portugal tonight. They've controlled a lot of the game in front of Scotland, but they're no scared to put the ball in behind. They're no scared to put the ball wide and get in the box. Constantly asking questions.
Clearly not scared to get runners forward either. That was Rego, who's come on at left back in place of Parenti, who you noted as well had a couple of opportunities from the same area.
Yeah, and it's no coincidence. You can tell that the players know the ball goes wide. There's a good chance that's coming in the box, so these defenders can afford to just gamble, and they know it's coming.
Good work from Frame. I think Lawrence had just run away from where Ewer was hoping he'd be. Here's Mane of Wolves for Rodriguez. Rego, another who's at Benfica. Quite a number of young Benfica talents in this side. He's made 5 first-team appearances. Also made his Champions League debut against Ajax this season. Effort from the edge of the area from Ribeiro. He did a few sighters, but that one just heads over the top. Graham. Lovely touch from Stewart. Ewer's going to poke it forward for Frame. Under a bit of pressure from Barroso. Yeah, good work, Mitchell Frame. Here's Ewer. Inside for Stewart, but Stewart's just nudged off it in the end, and Mane can come forward for Portugal. Decent crowd tonight as well. Lots of young fans cheering on the young Portuguese side. Games of rock, paper, scissors breaking out in the crowd there too. You can see a lot of young kids wearing Estoril shirts. Quite a big club. Estoril now, established in the top flight in Portugal. This is a small arena holding just 5,000 in capacity, but 7th in the top flight. Performed ever so well these last few seasons. Here's Portugal, an opportunity again to find a fourth. Moreira's effort blocked by Ure and out for a corner.
Scotland just overplaying it there and get caught. Does really well to get across and get the block in. It's hard because boys have worked hard and you just want a breather, you want to get a pass, and probably overplaying it in wrong areas.
Here's Rodrigo Herrero. Play it wide for Rodriguez. T.S. Mane. Patient build up once again from Portugal. Rodriguez finds himself in a wide area. Only 1-2 with Ribeiro. Rodriguez, left-footed effort, just spins wide of the target. Just as we approach the end of regulation time, Dylan, think about who will be your Scotland man of the match. Two minutes of additional time, confirmed by stadium announcer. Not enough time for Scotland to mount a comeback tonight. Up against a real top-class elite opposition. Well, the result may not have favoured the Scots this evening. Plenty to take from this. Plenty of things to learn.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a bad performance. I think they've done a lot of things well. It's just the quality of the opposition you're up against. These are probably one of the favourites to go and lift the trophy in this competition. So again, it's a good learning curve for a lot of boys, and there's a lot of young lads that are making their debuts and stuff. So building for the future. But my man of the match, I think I'm going to go for big centre half, Chiloka Millen. I think he's been great. I think leading the back line and holding that high line, it's difficult to do, and he's put in some great challenges and great headers and controlled a lot of his back five.
Well done to Jeremiah Chiloka Millen. Tonight's Scotland man of the match is voted for by Dylan McGeer. His 22nd cap for the men's 21 side this evening, becoming the most capped under 21 Dunfermline player of all time. Should be the last action of the match. Portugal looking to try and make it a 4 from the corner. Here's Mane, delivers it to that front area, headed clear by Luke Graham this time. Moreira with a left-footed effort. That's going over the top. I'm sure the referee will bring this one to a close just as Rudy Adams steps up to take the resulting goal kick. We're going to continue playing. 2 minutes of additional time have come and gone.
He's waiting on the lights going out.
We'll take that 3-0 win to Scotland. Here's Luke Graham. Now either the referee is not keeping time correctly, or the stadium announcer has got his English numbers mixed up. He must have meant 3. The referee brings an end to the proceedings eventually. Portugal taking home all 3 points and stretching their advantage at the top of Group B to 5 points. Scotland trailing the group leaders by 8. And trailing Czechia by 3. Hold that all-important playoff position. In the first half, Scotland found themselves 2 behind at half-time after goals coming from Roger Fernandez and from Daniel Banyaki. And then a third in the second period was added by Gonçalo Moreira. Portugal well on top in that second period. They had a chance early on in the half with Parente getting forward from left back again. Dylan, something that you'd noticed early on?
Yeah, again, they know the ball's coming in, the ball goes wide, so they can commit numbers forward, and it's obviously a theme that the left back had come on for him, done the same thing, so it's definitely something to work on.
Parente just going wide, not quite getting the connection he was looking for in that one. But Scotland did have some glimmers. That's a good run here from Mitchell Frame, eventually gathered by João Carvalho. But Portugal were able to make it 3. Some nice work on the right-hand side from Carlos Forbes before picking out Moreira. And the young midfielder, I think his second for the 21s on his second cap. Ball just sitting up nicely for him after his first touch. Connecting with the finish on the half with his second. And for Portugal's third. And at this point, Dylan, didn't really look as though Scotland had any hope of getting back into the game as Portugal continued the pressure.
Yeah, once it goes free, it's damage limitation really, and try to get some boys on the pitch to get some minutes and get some experience.
This was a chance for Rodrigo Ribeiro. Came on for Youssef Chermiti. But as you mentioned, Dylan, some players got minutes off the bench. Stewart and Fletcher combining this effort for Scotland. Both of those guys impressed you, didn't they?
Yeah, they've done really well. Obviously limited touches, but the times they did get a hold of the ball, they looked threatening, and you see it there, Fletcher winning the ball and running forward, and Barney Stewart managed to pick him out. Just really unlucky the ball doesn't even nestle in the back of the net.
Yeah, big well done to Tyler Fletcher. This was of course his Scotland Under-21 debut. It's his first call up this camp. Didn't get it on Friday, but his debut tonight. A performance to be proud of. Of course, son of Scotland legend Darren Fletcher. This was another opportunity for Portugal to make it 4. Rodrigo Rego just going over the top. This was the man Dylan was talking about, the replacement left back for Parente. Great touch. It's the connection he was looking for in the finish, but not the direction. And as much as Scotland were under pressure, they did have good moments where they defended well. This, a nice block from Kyle Ewer, getting in front of Gonçalo Moreira, who was looking for a second of the match. Good commitment from Ayr United midfielder.
Yeah, he does well. He reads the pass and gets his body on the line.
So yeah, a difficult evening in the end for Scotland against can only be described as elite opposition. Group leaders Portugal stretching their advantage at the top over Czechia. Scotland still trailing second place by 3 points. 2 games to go against Bulgaria and Azerbaijan. We'll be back with live coverage of those games in the September-October international break. And the first of